Ladies and gentlemen, starting with our agenda-setting Times Now news break that we have been following since morning. Ever since former Mumbai top cop Param Bir Singh, the disgraced former Mumbai top cop Param Bir Singh, ever since he made the sensational allegations against Anil Deshmukh, the minister who is right now in jail of, in fact, indulging in 100-crore extortion scandal, there was persistent question in everybody's mind: was the minister acting alone? Did the Mahagadi chief minister know about what was going on in his ministry, in his cabinet? Today, viewers, we might be getting closer to the answers. Times Now has accessed a series of transcripts between former Mumbai Police Commissioner Param Bir Singh and the current Maharashtra DGP that reveal the whistleblower cop who is under the scanner was approached by the present top cop of the state to withdraw his complaint. You heard it right. To withdraw his complaint against the former minister, Param Bir Singh told the Supreme Court that if he withdrew his complaint, he would not be persuaded by Mumbai police. The transcript is a 374-page long transcript. In fact, about 500-page long transcript, which I'm holding in my hand. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a Times Now exclusive.
क्या महाराष्ट्र की सरकार परमवीर पर दबाव बना रही है? दबाव बनाने का क्या कारण है? एक और महाराष्ट्र सरकार और उनके मंत्री कहते हैं कि उन्होंने कुछ नहीं किया, तो फिर यह डर देश और दुनिया के सामने आने का क्या कारण है? वह इस बात को सुनिश्चित करता है कि वसूली कांड में महाराष्ट्र सरकार के मंत्री और तीनों दल पूरी तरह से लिप्त है।
केंद्र सरकार के दबाव के खातिर परमवीर सिंह ने इस तरह के वक्तव्य किए थे और खुद जाल में परमवीर सिंह फंस गए। उनके वकील ने भी कोर्ट में कहा था कि हमारे पास कोई पुरावा नहीं अनिल देशमुख को 100 करोड़ देने के बारे में। ये उनके वकील ने भी कोर्ट को कहा था। अब रहा संजय पांडे की बात है, आखिरी ये वक्तव्य जो क्या है, उसका सीडीआर किसके पास है, ये बात अभी तक सामने नहीं आई। अब कोर्ट के सामने आके उन्हें बोलना चाहिए कि वास्तविकता क्या है।
This is the set of that exclusive transcript that we have accessed, which I'm holding in my hand, which in fact tells you that the rot ran deep in the system. There was, instead of investigating this entire scam, in fact, instead of the Maharashtra police, the Mumbai police, the Maharashtra police investigating, getting to the bottom of this entire Vasooligate, the attempt was to suppress, the attempt was to save Anil Deshmukh, it was to deflect this entire huge controversy and the allegations, which had serious allegations which have been made on former Home Minister of Maharashtra. Joining me now at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, BJP's Shaina NC. She is joining us on the broadcast. We are also being joined by Mr. Chandrasekhar Jha of the Shiv Sena. Asutosh Mishra, senior journalist, is also joining us at this moment. Shaina, I want to start with you. What do you make of the revelations that we have put out in public domain? Top cop of Maharashtra, DGP, telling a man who the Maharashtra police has been saying is an absconder, a proclaimed absconder, telling him, if you take back your complaint, give a statement, we will settle the case against you.
Well, I think your question says it all. Firstly, let me please compliment Times Now for not being like the journalists who come under pressure and choose not to report all of this. You have done human service to the entire administration, police force and political class by exposing the corrupt. Now, obviously, if you have a transcript such as this, it shows that the Maharashtra top cop, who was the police commissioner of Mumbai, is given a warning and at the same time given a bait to say, withdraw your complaint and everything will be settled. Now, what does this say? It shows you the gross corruption that was a part of it. Probably in the history of Maharashtra, you have never had a police commissioner who's vanished, a home minister who's in jail for interrogation, and obviously a system which was part of an extortion racket, and a huge extortion racket, where you had the former home minister and the administration all in this process of Vasooli. I think it's disgraceful. I'm glad that you have exposed this, and this is nothing but a very indecent proposal as far as we are concerned. We will only arrive at the truth, and the truth must come out in the public domain. So you realize that this is not a Maha-Vikas Agadi, but a Maha-Vinash Agadi. That's only fundamental is lust for power and to be corrupt and misuse
Mr.
power.
Jha, Shana, I'll just come to you. Mr. Jha, I want to come to you, sir. You keep reading one page after another, and all it tells you is how a police officer, rank of the DGP, is trying to fix a case. Is this government only trying to jugadify the cases, fix the cases? Just because a minister of your government has been caught, allegations have been made of more than 100 crores Vasooli against him, extortionist minister, as he is right now, in fact, being investigated, you are now trying to make sure that the whistleblower settles. No system, no faith in law. Sirf jugad.
That in this no, let me speak. Yeah, the thing is that when I was sitting in a program, when Param Bir Singh showed a letter to the DGP saying many allegations against Anil Deshmukh and the government, thereafter he ran away from the prosecution as well as from the public, and now he comes out and before the inquiry commission he says that Mr. Anil Deshmukh, the allegations which were being made by him is a hearsay, and I don't know how these allegations have come. So what do you expect from a person who is a hostile person?
So you're calling him an hostile person?
Sir,
does the government of Maharashtra, like you've been doing the Lipapoti as far as this entire case is concerned, don't you think the first response from the government of Maharashtra? Shana, I'm just coming to you. Shana, I'm just coming to you. Shana, I'm just coming to you. I'm just coming to you, Shana.
The BJP also done it.
Mr. Jha, these transcripts tell a different story, sir. Don't you think that the first reaction of the government should have been that there will be an inquiry in these allegations? The top cop, the DGP, who is making these offers, even if, let's for argument's sake, let's just assume that Param Bir Singh is the man who's absconding the law, then don't you think that the DGP should not be talking to a criminal? Don't you think that the first response of the police force should have been, or the government should have been, that they will investigate the DGP?
No, after getting the bail, he came out and speak to DGP. It might be his consent or his choice, but eventually he is a hostile person who is speaking something else 6 months back and now speaking something else after 6 months. So we cannot rely upon him.
Yeah, the only people that we should rely upon is Mr. Anil Deshmukh and of course what everybody else in the government would say, but not an officer who is in fact making a disclosure. I want to go across to Mr. Asutosh. Mr. Asutosh Mishra, what does this tell you as a journalist? Should these allegations be investigated? At this moment, the government only seems to be, getting themselves into one cover-up after another.
The very fact that he absconded and sought refuge in an area where his mentors are more powerful and he could not be arrested shows that there is something rotten in the kingdom of Denmark. And it seems very clear that BJP, he inadvertently became part of BJP's campaign against the Thackeray government. And we all know there is no love lost between BJP and Shiv Sena. And there has been a concerted effort to bring down the MBA government. And how can you just simply trust a person who keeps changing his... this is not the only case where he has been found wanting. There are other cases where he made huge claims on TV and thereafter couldn't prove anything.
Okay.
So it could just be a case of mudslinging on behalf of his political mentors. So I don't
Shaina,
think
are you tutoring Param Bir to do this? That's the allegation.
Absolutely not. Please understand, this has got nothing to do with BJP versus Shiv Sena or forming of government. This is gross corruption which has been exposed.
Okay.
You had
that is the only
corrupt
reason.
government
It is not
with
corruption.
a home minister at helm
Political
and the
mandate.
police both in collusion, a silent spectator of a chief minister
political
who chose not to
mandate.
comment, and then you have this
Of
kind of a
the BJP.
dialogue saying that withdraw your complaint and we will leave you alone. Is this
No,
what
there
we
is
have
no
come
dialogue.
to? This
There
is
are
not a
working. You
government
people are throwing
at the
dialogue.
center that is going
Nothing
to
is
compromise
there.
with the corruption.
Well, the mere fact
and
that
the
these
Prime Minister
transcripts
has
have come
always
out,
led
ladies
by
and gentlemen,
example, and I
it
don't
does
think-
require a thorough inquiry. It does require a thorough investigation, because these are very serious allegations against the top cop of Maharashtra, the sitting DGP of Maharashtra, and these need to be investigated. Thank you so much to all the three guests for joining me on the broadcast. A quick break at this moment, ladies and gentlemen. There are much more agenda-setting stories that I'll be bringing to you after a short break. Stay tuned.